Hello, and welcome to the Steps to Happiness show on Soulivity TV. I'm your host, Teresa Greco, happiness coach, author, editor, writer, educator, and Reiki master. Are you ready to feel the love, peace, and happiness that exists within you? And the Steps to Happiness show is for you. On my show, my guests and I explore the latest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being practices that can help you to realign with the happiness within you. On the show, we talk about the ways we need to connect with and nurture all aspects of ourselves. As spiritual beings having a human experience, it is important that we take care of the vessel, our body, that provides the learning experience for our soul. I like to think of my body as my temple, and as such, I treat it that way. Our bodies help us to accomplish all the things we want to do in a day. And it's the only body we're going to have. And that's why it's important that we love and take care of our body the way it deserves. So, what happens when we start to feel dis-ease in the body? Are you listening to that communication your body is giving you? What message is it trying to relay? Do you need to go for a massage, visit your chiropractor, get more sleep, or meditate? Think about the ways your body is communicating with you. What is it saying? What is it telling you it needs? Do you need to go to the doctors? Do you need a long hot bath? Do you need to go for a walk or move your body more? Or what happens when we have gone to the doctors and traditional Western medicine and they can't figure out what's wrong, and drugs may only be masking the symptoms and not getting to the root cause of the issue? With my guest today, we're going to be discussing alternative medicine practices, because sometimes traditional medicine isn't enough to bring our bodies back into alignment with the wholeness and health that we innately are. We're going to look at some practices that are less mainstream, but have been shown to be effective in helping us to heal not only our physical self, but the other parts of our self that needed healing too. I'm going to see you after the break, and I'll introduce my guest. Are you ready to take that first step towards true, unwavering inner happiness? Are you like thousands of people who have everything they need, not want, but need, and still can't seem to find happiness and fulfillment in their lives? If so, the Steps to Happiness show is for you. On my show, you will learn about the principles and practices that lead to true inner happiness. Because guess what? It isn't found in our external environment, but within ourselves instead. Together with my guests, we will explore the latest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being practices. And together, we'll advise you on the actionable steps you can take towards a happier, more fulfilled, authentic life. So I invite you to join me each week on Soulivity TV on the Steps to Happiness show with me, Teresa Greco. Welcome back. I'm going to introduce my guest on the show today. She specializes in holistic healing practices as a certified Happy for No Reason trainer, sound healer, and Qigong instructor. Juli Realy, hello and welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for inviting me.
So, Julie, I'd love to talk to you today about some holistic healing modalities that many of us may not have heard of, but have been shown to be healing for many people, including yourself. So before we get into those modalities, can you tell us a little bit more about the Happy for No Reason program?
The Happy for No Reason program, it was wonderful for me. It really helped me shift my thinking, how I felt and responded to things, and gave me a whole spectrum of practices to apply on a daily basis to improve my well-being. It's based on a program written by Marcy Shimoff, who traveled the world interviewing over 100 happy people. And she took all the common denominators and put them together in this program. And she uses the metaphor of building an inner home of happiness, because happiness comes from within. It doesn't come from the environment externally. So the foundation of the home is really taking responsibility for your own happiness and your attitudes, looking for solutions, looking for the lessons and the gifts and the mistakes that you make, making peace with yourself. And then the second pillar is the mind, is the pillar of the mind. Don't believe everything you think. Know that you can alter how your brain processes information. If we always look for the negative things, we attract negative things. If we look for the positive things, we attract positive things. The negative things, our brain is like Velcro for negative thoughts and Teflon for positive thoughts. So when we think something negative, it sticks with us and it stays with us and it sinks in. And if we think something positive, it slides away. We don't even always acknowledge something positive. We sort of blow it off and then we fester over the negative. So we need to try to look at things from positive and find the positive in everything and try to have 3 positive thoughts for every negative thought. There's all sorts of research behind that. The third pillar of support for our inner home of happiness is the pillar of the heart and letting love lead and being able to um, be in a place of gratitude, allow ourselves forgiveness for ourselves and for others and for circumstances we can't control, and to practice kindness. And actually, 5 minutes of self love and appreciation every day is really powerful and releases the healing hormones. Good emotions release healing hormones, negative emotions release damaging, harmful hormones that open you up to disease. So, what we think and what we feel and how we respond to things triggers the release of chemicals in our body, either the good ones or the bad ones. Well, if you're feeling bad, you have to do something to shift so that you can get the feel good chemicals flowing in your body again. The fourth pillar of support is the pillar of the body. And like Teresa said in her introduction, our body is important and we need to make ourselves happy. We need to nourish our body with proper food, drink, enough sleep, movement and exercise. We need to energize our body, which is really, you can do that by going, connecting with nature, walking in the woods or on the beach, and doing exercises, especially energy work exercises like Qigong. And then also, like Teresa already mentioned, is tuning into our body's wisdom, because our body knows and it does communicate to us through our aches and pains. So it's very interesting. And if you need to get some feel good hormones flowing in your body, you can just sort of bounce and shake a little bit and take a deep breath. And if you just do this for a minute or two, it's going to really revive your energy and get some good, happy juices flowing in your body. The fifth pillar for the home for happiness is the pillar of the soul. And we need to plug into spirit. We need to connect with the higher power. We need to listen to our inner voice, our intuition. That's the voice of of our creator. We need to trust in the benevolence of the universe, that everything is on our side if we can just recognize it, find it, and see it. It is. And that was very, very important for me too. I went through a phase in my life where I was very ill and not doing well, and I got angry. I got angry at God. I got angry at God. I got angry at the doctors, and it was really powerful for me to reconnect with that part of myself. Um, and then the next pillar of support is the roof, which is living a life inspired by purpose. What makes you come alive? That's what you need to live for. We need to find what makes us feel good and positive about what we're doing, and we need to strive to make that our purpose. It's not always a career. Sometimes it's something we might do through a hobby or through our family life, but our purpose is very, very important. I actually read a chapter for a book called Dare to Be Authentic, Finding Your Purpose. And I talk about how purpose, it's like a revolving door, because sometimes we think we're following on purpose. Something will happen that we can't control that completely changes our situation and redirects us to a new purpose. And we need to honor that and recognize it and go with it. And it's going to go around. And if our original purpose was true to our soul, then we're going to go back to that. And that happens a lot of times if you have a family and you have children and their needs and medical issues or whatever. But we very often get sidelined from our purpose and need to recognize that a new purpose might be there for us temporarily. I know when I was ill, my purpose should have just been to heal, instead of like trying to figure out why I don't have a purpose, and be frustrated over not having a purpose. My purpose was to heal and to find peace in the healing process. I didn't recognize that at the time, though, and that was hard for me. But when I look back, I can see. So if we have issues that we need to overcome, that's not wasted time. That can be a new purpose for us. And that purpose will bring us to a new place, a better place. Very important. And then the final pillar of support for the Happy for No Reason program is the garden. We need to tend our garden of relationships. We need to cultivate nourishing relationships. So then surround ourselves with people who will support us and lift us up, not with people who will put us down. A garden's beautiful, but we need to weed the garden. The weeds will take over the flowers. So we need to do that with our relationships. If we're trying to overcome habits like complaining and feeling like a victim, and we go and we hang out with somebody, all they do is complain in a victimized mentality, it's going to rub off on us. So you need to say, hey, when I'm in that situation and people start complaining to me, I might listen to one or two. And then I say, hey, enough of that. I need to move on to something else, and look for something good and positive. And when you find yourself complaining, you can go ahead and put yourself into a place of gratitude, because I bet you any money, even though you got something to complain about, you have many more things to be grateful for if you look for that. And then you get better energy, release the feel good hormones. So each pillar that is the foundation of our inner home for happiness in the program comes along with a series of practices that we can do. And the pursuit of happiness is not like something like a dog chasing after a stick. It's like doing it all the time. It's like a daily practice. The pursuit of something is engaging in it daily. We need to do daily practice of happiness. We need to remind ourselves every day that we are responsible for our happiness and it comes from within. We need to remind ourselves we can overcome our challenges. We don't need to be a victim. We can remind ourselves we don't have to believe what we think. We don't even have to believe what other people think about us. If somebody walked into the room right now and says to me, "Oh, Julie, you have purple hair," I could respond in two ways. I could go, "Oh my God, is my hair purple? Is it really purple?" Run to the bathroom, look at my hair. Or I could respond by saying, "You know what? I know my hair is not purple. I don't know why she thinks my hair is purple, but my hair is not purple. I'm okay," and move on. And that's how we need to deal with things, not let other people influence us, not let our own belief patterns from the past influence us, because we can become whatever we want to become. We can take whatever attitude we choose. It is a choice. We need to recognize that choice. And so we need to see the world as our family. We need to see the world as a place that is going to support us and nurture us, spirit, soul, mind, and body. And I incorporate the Happy for No Reason program practices constantly in my life every day. And it's not like a major big thing. It's not like I gotta set an alarm, say, "Okay, I gotta do my happiness practices now." No, it's just that you can go to the grocery store and you can stand in line and you can be upset that you have to stand in line, or you can notice that the bagger has a beautiful smile on their face and say to the person, "Oh, you have such a nice smile. It's so nice to see somebody smiling," instead of like, "Oh my God, this line is so long." We can create what we want to create for ourselves. And it took me a lot of time to learn that and whatnot. But the Happy for No Reason program definitely was something that put me on a path to transformation of attitudes. And my whole personality changed over time. People wanted to be
Thank
with
you.
me.
Thank you so much. I wasn't expecting you to go so deep into the program. So thank you so much for giving us an insight into all of the different pillars that, as a happiness life coach, a lot of the pillars that you talked about are all ones that we do cover. We try to cover on the show, that we talk about on the show. And so it's beautiful that you've implemented a lot of those practices in your life and are helping others to do the same. So, Julie, I brought you on here today, though, to talk to you about some of the holistic practices, that medicine or healing practices that you implemented in your own life that helped you with your own healing, and that you're also helping other people to heal with as well. And so you're a certified sound healer. And so if you could tell us a little bit more about that practice and how it changed your life, and how it may be helping others.
Well, I I was particularly taken aback with sound healing. I always loved music in my life. It's always been influential. You listen to some music and it makes you sad or cheerful. You listen to other music, it makes you upbeat. Music entrains us. Sound and vibration entrain us. If we're walking at the mall and they put on like really upbeat, fast music, we might start walking faster in rhythm to the music. It's
Mhm.
natural. That's called entrainment. And that's why we can use sound and vibration to help ourselves and heal ourselves, because it is in training. And we are actually born practicing sound healing. A baby comes out of the womb and is crying because it's releasing the stress of the trauma of the birth process. And babies are allowed to cry because that's how they communicate that they have needs and they need care and they have distress or pain. They cry. But now, as we get older, we're told, "Well, you're a big girl now. You can't cry. Boys don't cry. You got to suck it up." We grow up with the mentality that we can't express our distress and our pain and that we have to hold it in. Well, it's this holding in of everything that creates problems for our body. And our body will go from a state of ease to a state of dis-ease when you start holding on to too much stuff and there's no more room for it. then it expresses itself in a negative way in our bodies.
Mm.
So, what's really interesting as far as sound healing, there's a couple of really simple practices that you could use. I mean, I use instruments and tuning forks and singing bowls, but just you yourself, without having any instruments or singing bowls or tuning forks or anything, you can basically hum. Humming is very, very powerful. Now, think about people that hum. Are they usually happy people? Do you ever hear angry people humming? So,
Mm.
humming actually stimulates all the nerves in the vagus nerve, which is triggers the parasympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic is that place of peace, peaceful nervous system. And when you hum, you can hum anything. You can feel all the vibrations. A lot of people meditate and use an and ends up in a hum. So you can hum a song if you want. You can just hum a tone. It doesn't matter what tone it is, but humming is really soothing for the nerves. So if you find yourself stressed out, hum. And you know what? You can't hum if you're holding your breath. Plug your nose and try it. It doesn't work. Humming happens on an exhale. So if you hum, that means you're breathing. Breath work is another part of healing that actually goes along with singing, making sound, chanting, and humming. So, as soon as you start doing any of those things, you are engaging your breath, and the breath can soothe you also. So, using sound to hum is really good. Another exercise that's really calming that anybody can just do in a minute is to put your middle finger right here and behind your earlobes in the pocket there, and just keep your hands along your face, and to take a deep breath in and then exhale with your mouth open. Ah. A long, slow, deep sigh, and that is very, very powerful. Just you can just do the sigh even without putting your hands up there, but that'll amplify it a little bit. It's good with the mouth closed, but if you open your mouth, you're activating your vagal nerve more, and it's more powerful. And actually opening your mouth into a grin with an open tooth jaw is actually really healing and starts the process of releasing serotonin in your body, so you can actually fake smile, but it's got to be big. And actually, when they do research for happiness, and they were testing like the effect of a smile, they would do this to the subjects. They'd have them give them a little dowel rod to put in their mouth, because that puts their mouth in that position that starts releasing the feel good hormones. Um, Another thing you can do is you can make the sound just like you get frustrated and you go, okay, making the sound of your negative emotion. Make the sound of your negative emotion. Set an intention to release the emotion with the sound. So you're frustrated or angry at somebody and you're going, then think about what sound represents peace and harmony to you. Maybe it's a sound like, whatever your sound is, it doesn't matter. So now you want to shift from your negative emotion to your positive emotion. So make your negative emotion sound and then change it to your positive emotion sound. So go from and set that intention to receive the peacefulness and healing that you can from shifting that sound. And what's interesting is I never really thought that worked. And I was at one point, we were in a bad lawsuit for 10 years. My husband was with his business. And he was offered a small settlement in court and he refused to take it. And I like freaked out because I was so tired of the stress of the legal process. And I was holding a lot of stress and I didn't realize it until I started doing the sound. And as I started doing that process of the negative emotion going to the positive emotion, I could just feel my stomach go bloop
Mm.
and like release itself. Like I didn't even know I was holding tension over it until I did this exercise, which I was practicing for class when I was studying. And it was amazing. It amazed me. Another way that sound is really healing is is the entrainment of rhythm. Just like I made the comment that if the music is faster, you're going to walk faster when you hear the music. And that's what they do to you in grocery stores and malls because they want you to go to as many stores as possible and buy as much as possible.
Mm.
They want you to move fast. But when you get wired and you're stressed out and you're tense and you feel like your nervous system is running too fast and you're on that hamster wheel and not getting anywhere and your heart is erratic and fast and you want to calm it down, if you use rhythm, you do it the same way as you use sound. You do the rhythm of what you're feeling if it's aggressive, and then slow it down, slow it down, get a heartbeat. I usually do this with a drum. You don't need a drum. You can tap, you can clap, you can tap your feet. And now we have a nice, steady heartbeat.
Mm.
The process of drumming is very, very soothing. I do work with drumming as part of my sound healing and do um, healing circles with drumming. And it's a great way to express yourself without words. It's a great way to connect with other people. You do need to listen to what everybody else is doing with their drums to blend in, and it's a great way to release, and it's a great way to be creative. Like, there was a time where I was pretty ill and not functioning real well, and I started drumming and it would make me feel better, and I started creating chants, like little supportive uplifting affirmation chants, like trust your inner wisdom, believe in yourself, you know let's do gratitude, let's change your attitude, elevate emotions and feel good. Like, I have dozens. These are all chants. I created them for myself to boost myself up, to feel good, to use whenever I needed a lift. So whenever I would get into like a new situation and I'd start getting doubtful about myself, I would just bring my chant into myself. I might, if I'm at home, I might even pick up my drum and drum it and sing it, just trust your inner wisdom, believe in yourself. I do it when I walk. I will chant it in my mind as I'm walking in rhythm with my walking. So very powerful. And that brings me around to the loop that anything creative that you do is healing, creative self expression. We are creators. We need to create. When we get ill or sick, we often shut down and don't do anything creative. If we
Mm.
need to rejuvenate ourselves, we need to get back into doing something creative. And people say, but I'm not creative. I don't have a creative bone in my body. I can't paint. I'm half colorblind. But you know what? We use creativity in so many ways. We use it to create games for our children to keep them occupied. We use it, a hairdresser might use it to create hairstyles. I mean, we create recipes, we cook our leftovers and add in other ingredients to make it taste better. Well, that's a creation. We create a new smoothie flavor for ourselves when we make our
Mm.
breakfast smoothie. There's so many ways. Like, we put on different combination of clothes that we've never worn before. and create a new look for ourselves. It's all creativity, you know,
Mhm.
and doing anything creative is very powerful. So harnessing, like creating affirmations and the rhythm of the drums was very, very healing and powerful for me. And there's many different varieties of sound healing. There's a lot of chanting, you know, and whatnot that people do for meditation, and that's very powerful. Also, I make up my own chants, but if you don't make up your own, you can tap into numerous chants that you can find online. And I work with tuning forks. I discovered the power of tuning forks. When you strike the tuning forks, they vibrate, and then you can place them on your body. So I actually use the tuning forks on acupuncture points aligned with traditional Chinese medicine, to get the energy meridians flowing and getting everything connected. And I love traditional Chinese medicine because it does encompass the mind, the body, the spirit, the soul, the emotions. And it's very powerful because of that. I do believe that our wellness does not just come from a healthy body. It does come from a healthy mind, a healthy spirit, a healthy heart, meaning healthy emotions. Um,
Mhm.
and that is all very, very, very important. So I really
Now,
like the traditional Chinese medicine. That's how I got into Qigong. Qigong aligns with traditional Chinese medicine. And I got into Qigong because movement was so powerful for my healing. We hold trauma and we hold emotions trapped in our body, in our bones, in our fascia, in our tissues. And we need to release them, and movement can help us release them. And I'll never forget when I after I got out of the wheelchair, I was ill, I was emaciated, my organs were shutting down, I got injured, I was broke my ankle and tore the labrum in my hip. I was in a wheelchair, and all my organs started shutting down. And my sisters and I, my ankle was in a boot, and my sister, Kiss, who's a therapist in Hawaii, she kept saying, "You have to start doing movement. You can try finding restorative yoga, not regular yoga, restorative yoga." And I did. And I got into restorative yoga, and that got me into meditation, and it got me into breath work. And I'll never forget, my teacher would tell me, like I thought I had permanent pain in my shoulder and neck because I had surgery in my shoulder, and it was supposed to be arthroscopic, but it didn't work, and they had to open me up. And so it never healed right, and I always had pain there. And I just figured, okay, I had bad surgery. I'm going to have shoulder pain for the rest of my life. I just accepted it. Okay. And my yoga teacher would say, you know what? You don't need to carry that your whole life. That's your body trying to tell you you have something that you're holding in your body that needs to be released. And I'm like, yeah, right. Now, I had bad surgery. It messed me up. So I argued with her. Well, 3 years later, I finally started releasing stuff, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I was learning about myself and what I was holding in my body, and the movement was like letting it come out, and it was so powerful and so amazing. I'm basically an addict to movement now, and movement has been a very, very powerful part of my healing. And so I combined it all together. I combined the traditional Chinese medicine, the tuning forks, the Qigong work with movement. I switched from restorative yoga to Qigong. Well, I do some restorative yoga too. I just sort of blend it all together and just do whatever my body tells me to do. And I actually had many instances where I would feel pain in my body and not know why I'm having that pain. Oh, well, that must have been the old injury. I used to be a horse trainer and trained wild Mustangs and baby horses, and got a lot of injuries from
Julie,
it. So
Julia, sorry,
I accept.
I don't want to cut you off, but we've run out of time for today. But it's very
Okay.
obvious from everything that you've shared today that you know a lot, that you've been through a lot, and if people want to learn more about you, all the amazing things that you gone through and that you can help people with, how can they connect with you after the show?
My website is juliforjoy.com. Juli is Juli, the word for, FORJOY, juliforjoy.com. And my, information, I have a Facebook page also that's Juli for Joy. And you can get my email through the links through the Facebook or through my phone and my email through my website and phone. So I'm
Thank you.
available that way.
That's and I encourage people to reach out to you to learn more about how you're helping others. So thank you so much for being on the show today and sharing with us some tips around happiness with the Happy for No Reason program, as well as some of the tips that you gave us for sound therapy. It also sounds amazing, just simple things that we can do every day that can bring us back to center and back to ourselves. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Juli, thank you so much for sharing some of the steps in the program. It sounds like it's very comprehensive. We do need to take another commercial break. So I'll see you all after the break.
We work so hard sometimes. Isn't it time for a break? Take a walk or enjoy nature or maybe a leap or a ride or even a dip. Spending time with a friend or some time alone. Whatever it is, always spend time growing and learning with a Soulivity weekend. Every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on Soulivity TV.
I'm going to leave you with the thought for the day. Even when we're not feeling our best, it's important that we remember that we are not broken. The truth of what we are is health and wellness. The true essence of us is already whole, healed, and complete. We must therefore take steps to get back into alignment with that truth. We must find ways to clear the blocks that might be preventing us from realizing that truth. Finding a professional who can help us to do that may be necessary so that we can break the cycle that caused us to be there in the first place. It's important that we understand the ways our body communicates with us. At the beginning, the pain may show itself as a soft whisper of discomfort. And if we ignore it, it can turn into screaming pain. Don't take what your body is trying to tell you for granted, but find ways to understand the message behind the dis-ease. What do you need to clear? What do you need to let go of? What habits do you need to change to yield different results? What type of treatment or therapies does your body enjoy and respond well to? Be still with yourself and understand that bringing yourself into alignment with the health you are is possible. We have the power to heal ourselves if we are willing to take the time to be in the now, where healing is possible, and to love ourselves the way we deserve. Ultimately, when we love, honor, and respect our bodies, the temple of our soul is able to live each day in alignment with the wholeness and fullness of who we really are. Thank you for joining me today on the Steps to Happiness show, and I look forward to being with you again next week.